Hang on. It's my for some reason it's telling me that my browser's not playing. So hang on. Here we go.
There was an idea. The idea was to bring together a group of remarkable people, see if they could become something more.
I have an army. We have a Hulk.
This is the Marvel Tribe, brought to you by Walt's Apartment Podcast and the Diz Insider.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Man, I love that intro. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to a live edition of The Tribe. We're a group of excited and passionate individuals who have come together to share our love for all things Marvel. Now, we're brought to you by Walt's Apartment Podcast and a variety of sponsors like Sunken City Design, We're in the Park, and Getaway Today. But I am honored to be joined by this amazing group of Marvel nerds as we talk about the season finale of Agatha All Along. So let's get this show started. From the big screen to the small print, let's feel the pulse in your chest so you know you're alive. One team, one love. It's
The Tribe.
The Tribe. All right. So we are live. We're doing this live. We're going to do our season finale of episode 8 and 9 of Agatha All Along. And joining me, the Blurred Hulk, we have our OG original co-host, Sam, the podcast princess. How you doing, Sam?
I am good. I am so ready to talk about these episodes. They were phenomenal and twisted my brain in all the right ways. So let's go.
Absolutely. And also joining us, and who's been along on this trip for this nice little journey down the Witch's Road, is our two VIP guests. We have Kelly and Courtney. Let's start out with Courtney. How you been? And just how you been?
I'm doing good. I'm good. I'm great. It's the weekend and rested all day and been thinking about Agatha and the finale and just how great the series was, man. It's great.
Oh yeah, we're going to get into all of that stuff. And last but not least, Kelly, tell us how's your weekend going? You ready for this show?
Oh yeah, I was so ready for this show. I was ready for this ending and conclusion, and it was such a beautiful one. The storytelling was amazing, and I think that we can pat ourselves on the back because we predicted some things along the way. So we'll get into it. But yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah, dang right we did. I mean, man, this group, this tribe, we're awesome. We have a bevy of all kinds of experts from other kinds of fields. I mean, we have our tarot experts, we have our true crime podcast experts, and we all just, when we consume content, we do the hard work for you guys and go through the Easter eggs and all of the little pieces here. And so we do appreciate the biggest part of our tribe here is all of you fans out there who listened and took this journey with us. So with this said, let's kick this off like we've always done. We're going to rate the final 2 episodes. Now, we can rate them separately because that's just how we do all the shows and stuff. And I'm going to kick this off with Courtney. Give us your rating for episode 8 and 9.
Let's see. I'm gonna give episode 8. Because I know we flipped back between like 9s and 10s, so like
it's been up there. It's been up there.
I know, right? I think I'm gonna give episode 8 a 9.5, and then I'm gonna give episode 9 a 10. because I just loved the way that it ended. It was the episode that I've been wanting since episode 4 when I thought it was going to flip of like in WandaVision. And I really wanted the backstory. Now we didn't get the full backstory, but still it was a pretty good backstory and not one I was expecting. So I'm going to give that one a 10.
Okay, right on. And Kelly, how you rate the season finale episodes?
Yeah, so episode 8, my mind was kind of blown at the end a little bit. And not like fully blown, because we had discussed a little bit about what the richest word was. But I do give episode 8 a 9.8. And like the last episode was a 10 for me, because it is exactly what we needed. It was exactly what we wanted. And while, yeah, there was still some story to be told, because we still don't know what the relationship was like between Rio and Agatha before. I wanted to see her on the Titanic. Like, seriously. Yeah, I mean, we still have some holes in Rio and Agatha's story, but I did like that we got some of their backstory, and also the backstory of Nicholas Scratch, and how that she didn't give her child up for the Darkhold, and at least in this version of the story, she didn't. So I think that was a beautiful story to tell. I think it was a necessary story for Agatha's being, her
character arc.
living. Yeah, her character arc. Thank you. Yep. Yes. And so I'm going to give that episode a 10, because it was just what we all wanted and needed.
Okay. All right. And Miss Podcast Princess, Sam, what are you ranking the season finale?
I'm giving episode 8 a 9. And I'm giving episode 9. Episode 9 a 10.
Okay. Give it away, Sam. Give it away.
The only place that I was left disappointed in the finale was that there were no end credit scenes, because we're so spoiled in that regard. But it's typical of anything with Agatha to not give us what we expect from other things. So, but I, like Kelly, I love that we got to see some of Agatha's character arc come across, and getting kind of her to see a little bit of redemption as a character, where she's not purely a hate-filled, driven monster villain. I mean, she's absolutely awful still.
She's a villain.
Oh yeah, she's for sure. But
villain.
But she was capable of actual love.
Yeah.
So that was not something that I per se expected of Agatha. So it was nice being able to see her character develop in that way. And I cried a lot. And I mean, the way her character ended up playing out at the end was a complete surprise to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think any of us really saw it coming that way. So I'm excited to talk about it. What did you think, Blurred Hulk? What did you rate these episodes?
All right, so I give them 10 across the boards. It was really hard for me. Anytime you give me a double episode like this, it's hard for me to kind of just separate them out. And they informed each other very well. And I got the payoff that I was looking for. Actually, I got the payoff that I needed. The payoff I was looking for was Mephisto, but I got what was needed, and it was great. And they did this. I've been thinking about this a lot. This is probably the best Marvel Disney Plus show that they put out. I like this. The WandaVision was top tier up there for me. This surpassed that. It didn't do a rush job with answering all the questions. Like, you had this mountain hill of stuff, and then they like try to squeeze it all in like 20 minutes and stuff. It really did give you kind of a nice it was compact, but because it's a show, but it gave you some breathing room and stuff. So you have to keep your head on the swivel.
The big question at the end of WandaVision, we had so many questions.
Oh, we were left with so
many questions. There's no questions left for us really right now at the end of Agatha, other than we know what's coming next.
I got questions.
The only question is, where's Tommy? But
but we know that's what their goal is next. We know they're looking for Tommy. So at the end of WandaVision, I was like,
I know a few different ways. I know where Tommy is. I know exactly. I know exactly where they're. When they showed and they talked about, because here's the thing that I love about it. You can tell when they're pulling from the comics, because they change stories all the time and they borrow credits. But when they're pulling directly from the comics and stuff, and they mention stuff about there's no one there to love him, there's no one around her. This is literally Tommy Shepard from the comic books, who is from a broken home, who, when they find him, he's in juvie. Because he was being bullied and hanging around the wrong crowd. He ended up getting drowned, and is what they're showing in this flashback. Yeah, I know they're gonna come across him in juvie. I'm just calling that right now. He's a bad seed because Tommy Shepard had a rough childhood and stuff. So that's where I'm gonna say where that is, because just how they set up that scene about putting his soul into a body and stuff. So
I like that though, because Wanda had, you have Wanda and you have the Scarlet Witch. You have both sides, because Wanda, did have goodness in her. The Scarlet Witch does not. So you get both of those parallels in her boys, essentially. Mm-hmm. I like
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Then can I ask you guys this question before?
Welcome in.
Long live Crow. What's up, Long live Crow? I'm going to ask this of my host here, the panel. Do you guys think Tommy is a good guy, a villain, or kind of this in between and stuff? Because I have some thoughts, and I was looking at the definition of things, and I was like, yeah, this is. But I'll say mine. I'm going to get your guys' opinion, because
I don't have any thoughts on Tommy yet, because
not Tommy. I'm sorry, Billy. I'm talking about Billy. I meant to say Billy. Billy. He killed people.
It's hard to say because,
but he had
Billy can
remorse.
read your mind, and he did have. If you're bad, you usually don't have remorse. Yeah, but he also can read minds, so he might do things prematurely that may look bad, but he's reading your mind. You know what I mean?
Protecting himself.
Yeah. I don't think he's necessarily all good, but I don't necessarily think that he's all bad, because Wanda is. There's a difference between Wanda and Scarlet Witch, Sean.
Yes.
I just made that distinction, Sean.
Yes, because Wanda, she doesn't realize what's happening, but once she does, realize what's happening, she realized that it's wrong, right? So it's kind of like that. Like, the power takes over you, and you're kind of like, your vision is kind of blurred by your powers and what you want. But once you realize what you want is hurting other people, you want to fix it. Like, he immediately was like, did I kill those people, Lilia and Sharon, and
he asked, am I killing the boy to bring my brother to life?
Yeah. So he's realizing himself that these things are not okay, and villains don't realize that. I don't think he's all villain.
Okay, so here's my rebuttal, and I'm going to say this. I think he is absolutely a villain. This is a villain origin story. I get there's Young Avengers and everything else, but here's my why. Because his story, kind of similar to how, and you say villains don't feel remorse, and I challenge that with Gore the Butcher, the God Butcher, because at the end, he really was suffering from the loss and the pain of his daughter and stuff. This dude felt tremendous amount of pain, and it caused him to go into. I mean, when the dark power, the sword, the necromancer took over, it just fed into his sorrow and his anguish and his pain. And it was until he was in front of Eternity, who is another cosmic entity like Rio, death. And he realized through pleading and understanding of what's going on with Thor and Jane, that it was his daughter, and and he sacrificed himself for our opportunity to get his life. So villains do feel remorse. I mean, it doesn't take away from their villainy.
I mean,
he killed Sharon.
Let's take their own children out of it. Let's take their children out of it. They don't feel remorse unless it comes to their children.
That's true. Because Gore the Butcher did not feel bad for any of those other kids.
And Agatha did not feel bad. She wasn't going to do what she did at the end of episode 9 until he said, "Is this what you did to Nikki?" The only person that she had remorse for was her child.
Correct. But in
a way, that is selfish, because that is literally your own flesh and blood. They don't feel anything outside of themselves, essentially.
Okay. So he has villainy tendencies. I'll say that.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, his mother is the fucking Scarlet Witch. Like, of course he does. He's got so much power.
Created out of the Scarlet Witch Darkhold magic.
True.
So
yeah.
If he didn't have a little bit of villain in him, it would be like as if Wanda created him and not the Scarlet Witch. But we know that it was the Scarlet Witch powers that created them.
I think that we're shown so much of his conscience battling because of that. Because if he was a straight out hero, we don't need to see Miss Marvel's thought process.
Yeah.
Like, we know she's all hero. We don't need to see Spider-Man's thought process. We know he's a hero. Like, we are seeing more. We're seeing more and more of Wiccan's thought process because he could easily walk that line.
Yeah.
I think that's part of why it's being shown to us.
And I think Tommy will be that all goodness side of Wanda. Because he didn't grow up. Well, I mean, I guess it depends, because you said he grew up in a hard life.
I think we're going to
be battling that, but
I think we're going to see Wiccan with a conscience and Tommy with no conscience.
Oh, you think so? Okay.
Because it's been a hard knock life.
It is. Yeah. I think they're setting that up.
And Billy did have a kind of good with William Kaplan's parents. So
true. Those are his parents.
Yes. Yeah,
he said, "These are my. I don't know Wanda. I don't know the Scarlet Witch. Like, this is the last 3 years of who, as far as my existence is." Yeah.
And we very well could see Tommy end up resenting Billy for bringing him into this, and for having the different lives. And for having different powers and for their different storylines. We could see him resent him. That could be what drives him into being a villain. He could be his brother's anti-hero.
True.
But Tommy, so I'll just say this, but Tommy doesn't know. I mean, Billy is the magic wielder. He knew he was able to kind of surmise, just like a lot of the witches and all the magic were able to just kind of sense and surmise. You can find other witches. You're tapped in. Tommy doesn't have that. He's a speedster like his uncle, so he's gonna probably, just like in the comic books, not realize Scarlet Witch, Wanda is his mom, or 2, he even has a brother. It's going to be Billy who's going to be the one, however they're going to perceive that, it's going to be Billy who's going to be reaching out and looking for him in real life.
Which that's how Agatha ends, is Billy and Agatha going to look for Tommy. So that's definitely on their minds.
And it could be there, and Tommy could be like, "I want nothing to do with you."
Yeah.
I don't know you. You're strangers. So but let's get into the episode and stuff.
Actually, before we get into our deep dive, do you want to hear from one of our sponsors?
We're already 20 minutes in.
We're already 20 minutes in, so we should definitely hear from Getaway
What's up,
today.
Jennifer?
Hey.
Well, hello, and welcome to Let's Get to Know Our Sponsor. Getaway Today has been helping Disney vacation dreams come true since 1990. Whether you choose to visit the happiest place on earth or travel to Orlando and beyond, they want to help you. Need to know the best hotel in the area? What theme park tickets should you buy? Have a last-minute change? No worries. Their travel experts are always here to help. Want to book a cruise and don't know where to start? Hey, they can help with that too. They will help you find the perfect cruise for your vacation, whether it is your first time or you're a well-seasoned cruiser. When you book your cruise with one of the Getaway Today's experts, you will have a dedicated agent to help you every step of the way. They take care of the details so you can have the most fun. Getaway Today has layaway, peace of mind travel, allowing you to cancel or make changes up to 72 hours in advance. You will always have the most up-to-date vacation information, both pre-arrival and upon your welcome. Getaway Today will guarantee the best prices with no hidden fees. And every time you book through Getaway Today, they will donate a portion back to a charitable organization in your area. And so far, over $4.5 million has been donated. So click the link in our show notes to start your Disney vacation planning for more information and the best deals. Tell them Walt's Apartment sent you. And until next time, enjoy the view from Walt's Apartment.
Welcome back. All right. I love Getaway Today. They're a great sponsor of the show here. If you're looking for travel, anything, and you're like me and you hate planning stuff and you just want someone to take that off of your shoulders, check out Getaway Today. It doesn't cost you anything extra to have them help plan your next amazing vacation. So, with that said, episode 8, which is called, oh my God, it was in my head. Follow me, my friend, to glory at the end.
Yes.
It opens up with Alice. I was super excited to see Alice because she's one of my favorite characters. And then we realize this is Alice in the in-between. And Rio is coming to pay her a visit to come collect her soul. So yeah, she's really dead. Folks, sorry.
I enjoyed this though because again, I was asking a couple episodes ago, I want to see what Rio is doing. Where is she when she's not with the group, the coven, and we got that. So I really liked that aspect of it. Like, okay, we went to Alice and we took the body, and we went to Sharon and we took the body, and we went to the and that really solidified what we needed going forward was getting Rio and Agatha on the same playing field so that we got the showdown between them. But before even that, it's we have so much going on.
Yeah, her camera's frozen. Sorry about that.
Sorry. Our Wi-Fi is terrible. Sorry.
So I was okay. So I'll say it. So I missed last week show to do with you ladies and Joey, which that was really cool that we got Joey to kind of hop on here. I had a theory and I had to put it in just a small thing in the chat in our Discord. If you're not in our Discord, you guys absolutely should be in our Discord. It pops off there and it's fun times.
And it's free.
Oh yeah, and it's free. We don't charge you. You don't have to be a Patreon member or a special, only fan club member of whatever. Just pop into the Discord. But what was I saying? Oh, so I made a prediction last week that I didn't get to share, and it was related to the fact that Wanda's hex, was Westview. It was the above ground piece, and then the Witch's Road was absolutely teens hex, and I'm so glad that kind of paid off. But I called it. I was looking at. I was like, this. Wanda had no clue she did that, and I was like, what if Teen? Because she is just as powerful, if not almost as more powerful than the Scarlet Witch and stuff. And it would be the fact that he is so tormented to find his brother or to find who he is and everything else, that magic, that dark magic inside of him, because
I'm gonna tell you, David, like you posted that theory, and then when I watched this episode, I was so sick because I watched the shape of the door to the Witch's Road, and I was like, it is a freaking hexagon.
It
is, yeah.
How did I not notice that the first time?
Yeah.
And then I see Agatha smirk, because Agatha knew right then and there.
Yeah.
She knew right then and there, because she knew, because we learned later on that Agatha knew the Witch's Road was not real. It was not real. It was a way for her to draw witches in to steal their power.
That paid off so
it had never, ever, ever opened before.
But how right were we when we were talking about episode 2, when we were saying she never intended to go out on the road? She never intended to go out on the road. She wanted to steal their powers. She wanted them to get mad at her. That was her
you
whole
bitches.
tactic.
Right?
That was her whole
I love
tactic
that.
Me,
to
bitches.
gain power. She never intended to go out on the road because the road never existed.
Mhm.
And like, how right were we?
Then all of a sudden, the road existed, and it was in the shape of a hexagon. As Billy is running down the stairs saying, "Agatha." And that smirk, so she didn't think he was Nick Scratch at all. She knew exactly who he was from the moment that happened, at the very least.
I like to think that I think she had an inclination, but I want to think that she was kind of like the fans, like she was piecing, she pays attention. And I think she was building out her clue, like her detective series and stuff. She knew, like, this ain't how this goes down.
And at that point, she didn't care. She was like, this is my escape from the Salem 7. There is a way away from them. I'm going. I see it's a hexagon. I see it's glowing blue. Let's go.
She's like, I will play along.
She did in WandaVision.
I was going to say, she totally did in WandaVision. She knew
how to play a role.
what was happening. You know, she was watching Wanda very closely in WandaVision, trying to figure out how much Wanda knew about the hex that she created, how much control she was having. And not until the final episode of WandaVision did we get Agatha all along with she was controlling a lot of the stuff inside the hex.
Yeah, she was playing with it too.
Right, she was playing with it too. But the fact that Agatha didn't have any powers until the Alice episode where Alice dies, she didn't have her powers. She couldn't control anything that was going on in the Witch's Road until, because she didn't have any powers.
She just
she had to play along. She had to go with it. And the fact that we figured out that it was a hex because it was a circle and they came full circle back to the original spot.
Yep.
And they saw their shoes, and then they had to. Then he stepped into his shoes, and it was back into the basement. Was incredible. My mind was like, "What just happened?"
Right?
Yes.
See, and a lot of the pieces, like when Sharon died and she leant over the body and then she did the wink at the teen and after she said, like, a lot of people thought she was talking to Sharon. I was like,
I didn't think you had it in you.
Yeah, that was definitely directed at the teen. Like, there's all those pieces.
I mean, she definitely had lines that she alluded to him being Billy.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So I gotta say, my favorite character was Alice, and then it kind of transitioned into Jen, her storyline, where she was kind of like this little scammer, kind of, a scaredy cat. She was like, I'm gonna stay in this protection circle this whole time because I'll, into a person who cares about her coven, and I'm done running. I'm here. I can't let any more of you guys die and stuff. And it was really kind of cool to kind of see that. I mean, all of them. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Patty LuPone's acting was stellar. Like, oh my God, she was amazing. It was bar none. If she doesn't win an award for what she contributed to this. I don't know what people are giving awards for, but
Yeah.
But Jen's character, when she was talking to the teen and everything, after talking about how Lilia sacrificed herself for everybody, and she just, I mean, I remember her being the first one out, and because she was so scared, and she was like, let the teen go before her, like, and she was trying to get Lilia to go before her, and Lilia was like, no, you got this. I love being a witch. And that line, I was like, oh man, this show's great.
So here's
the one
my
that got me
question.
was I need my coven. I needed my coven from Lilia. I was like, oh.
So David, here's my question for you.
Shoot.
We see Jen introduced. We see Jen escape the hex. Jen is still part of the MCU. She is not dead. When I think to the High Priestess, I think of Aisha, who we already have. Who else could she portray from the comics? Or is she going to be her own sovereign, wink, wink, character?
So, first of all, I'm going to give shout out and kudos to whoever wrote the character of Jen, because Jen did, and I'm going to say this, the most blackest thing a person can do in a movie when you've been traumatized is get the hell out. I mean, I'm not going back in there to save anyone else. I have my freedom. This ain't for me. Yuck. And she flew off, and I was like, yes. Because that's exactly what I would have done.
Oh, watching her fly off was like the coolest thing ever.
She's like, I'm out.
For sure.
I'm out. I really climbed my way out of the soil. I'm like, look, hey, I hope the team's okay. Agatha's evil and real. What the F? I'm out. And she took off. I was like, yes.
Yeah. Well, she got what she needed from the road, and the teen let her go. Billy let her go.
Yeah.
And in the end, Agatha says that you actually saved a life because I was going to kill everybody. And, you actually saved a person instead of looking at it as you killed everybody but Jen. You can look at it as you saved Jen, because in the beginning, I was just going to kill everybody and take their powers. So, like, that is crazy to me. Jen's character arc was incredible. Like you said, going from being kind of timid and a scam artist and everything in between to being confident in, she kind of flew off like Wanda at the end of WandaVision. That was crazy.
Sure did.
But we also know that the hex changes you. So, if you go into the hex, and if we are saying that the Witch's Road was a hex, then if you go into it, it changes you. And now that she is no longer bounded, because Agatha actually was the witch that bound her, and when she figured that out, she was like, "Give me my powers back, bitch!" Like
pretty much.
I love.
She was so powerful.
She was so good, and Agatha just let her do it.
I'm gonna snatch the wig off. She almost snatched the wig off and wrapped her hair. It's like,
so it was so fun to see Jennifer's arc and her come into her confidence and her power. And I hope we get more from Jennifer. She is a badass witch.
Yeah. Somebody on our other Zoom said that actually Jen, the character of Jennifer has a lot to do with Doctor Strange. So I'm hoping maybe she's in Doctor Strange 3. But also I wanted to comment on Kevin's thing where, she did fly off exactly like WandaVision, but in WandaVision, she flew off at sunset, whereas Jennifer flew off in sunrise. So her path is just beginning, whereas WandaVision was.
We also learn at the end there when Teen goes back to his house, basically, that he's only been gone for 24 hours. So
which was weird to me. I didn't realize that it all happened in one day.
It was like, it's only been 24 hours. What the hell?
That was crazy.
So in the comic book, I just want to say too. So Jennifer Kell is a
I just put it together. Yeah,
is a comic character. Jennifer Kell's cousin is technically Ghost Rider.
Mm-hmm.
His story arc and how he became Ghost Rider and Mephisto tricking, playing
The
his
first
tricks
Ghost
and
Rider or
stuff.
the second Ghost Rider?
It would be the first Ghost Rider and stuff is technically Jennifer's
Danny
cousin.
Ketch.
I can see Jennifer in the Midnight Suns, which is
Midnight
also
Sun.
part of the.
So as soon as
Doctor
Courtney
Strange.
said Doctor Strange, I was like, oh yeah,
Yep.
Midnight Suns.
Which, you know, we have Blade, we have Ghost Riders, we have Moon Knight, Doctor Strange. Like they deal with the horror and the ghostly and So I can see that happening and stuff. I don't think this is the last we'll see of Jennifer here. So we'll see what her character shapes out to be and how the heck. I mean, she's literally the only person that believes the Witch's Road is real.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, because
everyone
everybody else found out it was Billy.
Yeah.
So
or they're
she
dead.
doesn't know that.
Nope. So she definitely is the only. I don't even know what that means. Like, what does she become like Ralph Boner and just kind of go into a?
I hope she doesn't go crazy like Ralph Boner.
Yeah. I mean, she got the hell out, so good for her. So she definitely took the opportunity.
I mean, Kevin has a good question.
Sure.
Did it change the other residents of Westview, or does it only change you if you force your way into it? I mean, I will say that Ralph was changed because he's kind of crazy, but I think that has more to do with Agatha playing with his mind than the hex. So what the other answers?
And he says that. He says it was Agatha.
Well, the hex also was underground. And so here's the other pieces that if any of the residents decide to go into their sub-flooring of their basement and stuff, they probably would have fell into the Witch's Road or this hex. But this was the old subway system, which is why they saw, Lilia and Jen saw like off in the distance an old subway car and stuff off into the side. Like and Sharon, who mentioned like the only thing about Westview historic is our failed underground transportation system and stuff. So unless any of the residents managed to go underneath Westview, they weren't subject to this particular hex. This was really built for all those who went down into the flooring, including the Salem 7 and stuff. Which I don't know how to feel about those characters. Like, it wasn't kind of a necessary. I mean, I guess
I'm kind of really sad about the way that they ended.
I wanted more of a conflict and more of a.
We talked about that last week, David. That
did you?
Okay. It was too easy to get rid of the Salem 7.
Yeah,
like that battle between Lilia and the Salem 7 was just way too easy. But watching the last 2 episodes, I realized why they couldn't put more conflict into the last 2 episodes with them, because they needed to focus on the Billy and Rio and Agatha of it all. And I liked that we got the last episode, which was completely the backstory, so we couldn't get more conflict with the Salem 7.
I want to touch on Sean's question really quick before we go to our next sponsor ad. But Sean says, will we see more Rio? Please. I personally think that Marvel right now needs a replacement for Kang the Conqueror. And who else could replace one of our last recent villains, the Mad Titan, other than Death?
Yeah.
So
other than the fact
that's my thought.
Well, other than the fact that I think Death was not a villain. She was not. Way, but she's just the way that the world works. So Death is a constant. Death is.
But Death is also susceptible to her love to Agatha, and Agatha is now gone.
But we didn't see that how they were in love or anything.
But we saw her say that you were given I don't know the exact word she said. You were given more grace than anybody.
Well, she said you were given special treatment. She gave her special treatment.
Yeah.
And Agatha calls her my love, and we've seen the kiss, so we know there's.
No, they were together.
Oh, yeah, we know that they are.
We know
we just didn't get to see them together. I wanted to see the havoc they wrecked together.
So maybe that's going to be Death's storyline as a new villain.
So
Yeah,
Doom,
Dr. Doom is definitely going to be the new big bad.
Doom's the biggie. So I think Rio as a cosmic entity does play a significant role in the MCU here because or actually, Death actually can take on any form. That's just kind of how that is. But I don't think her storyline is done. She's not good or bad. It's like calling Mother Nature a villain. It just does what it does.
Sometimes
Her job is to take to fairy souls over. I mean that's why
fair to say that Thanos thought he was doing the right thing too.
Absolutely. So those motivations and stuff like Agatha, that love affair, Agatha is technically pretty much immortal because you kill her, she takes your powers and stuff. I mean, she was serving up dead bodies to Rio, which is what is her job, is to just collect dead bodies. So when you have a villain who's responsible for the Titanic, who's responsible for all these atrocities and stuff, the serial killing of witches over the century was insane. I mean, so I get why she fell in love with her because she wasn't just this mortal person who's going to live, 80 to 100 years and then be gone. She was throughout time lining up bodies for her love and stuff. And so I would love to see what that backstory is. Maybe we get that with a Rio spinoff or introduction into the MCU more or something. But absolutely, I don't think Dr. Doom is definitely the big baddie. Rio may play a role or a part because she already says two things. She hates ghosts because their plane is tethered. She can't do anything with them. There's no soul to pull over because they have unfinished business. And two, the teen or Billy is an abomination. She's not a fan of people who cheat death. So Battle World and resetting timelines and everything else may bring in death to try to rectify a lot of things that we may get in the future and stuff. So
that was exactly where I was going. Next was Battle World. There's going to be a lot of bodies stacked up in Battle Worlds. We're going to see a lot of things change in the MCU that are going to be twisting and turning tons of timelines, and we're not even going to know what to expect until it hits us in the face. Like, they can tease us as much as they want to. We do not know what they're going to give us until it happens when we're sitting in that theater. That's the bottom line on that. Yeah. And I do think that death is definitely going to play a large role in that. But
because she's also one of those big, like, spiritual things, like
celestial,
yeah.
Well, you can't stop death from happening.
No,
I mean, death is a constant in our lives. But the other thing that I had, for Rio is that, like, what I got out of the last episode was that Agatha was killing witches just to preoccupy death and for her not to take her son.
Agree.
To give her bodies so that
more
she
time.
didn't take her son.
So not exactly
eventually
like a present, but like.
So Kevin says, I would agree, death isn't as bad as Thanos. Death doesn't kill; she just guides the dead to them beyond. But she can also, if she's pissed off enough, manipulate the situation so people are brought to death.
Yeah,
I think that's what we're going to start to see from her.
She can do Final Destination on people,
because of Agatha not actually being dead. So she's mourning a love that's not actually dead, that's hiding from her in the spirit world.
Yes.
She basically let Billy go because she thought the love of her life sacrificed herself for him.
Yes.
So when this is all revealed to her, she's going to be one pissed off celestial entity. So
for sure.
I'm here for more Rio. I'm here for it.
Absolutely.
I love Aubrey Plaza. Let's go.
She was really good.
And I'll say this: I think the one thing that Billy and Agatha's son have in common, I think they're both are abominations. They're not supposed to be here. Like she said, you're made from scratch. I 100% believe that, and Rio had no choice but to take
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I want to get into that, but because that is part. You asked us to bring our favorite quotes from the season, and that leads into mine. So let's hear from our sponsors. We're in the park, and then we will come back with our favorite quotes, what we have left for episode 9, and where we think we're going next. So let's go.
Hey fam, what scavenger hunt are you doing?
Well, we are doing Where in the Park.
Do you guys know Where in the Park? Because we do.
We do.
So how you play this is that they give you a deck of cards with an image on it, and you get to look around and see where in the park that is.
And they're fun. So if you like to find stuff, this is what you need to do.
The amazing game, Where in the Park, right here.
If you're a seasoned Disney park goers as we are, it's a fun, challenging even for the hardcore Disney parks fan.
We have played the Where in the Park games that we felt like, ooh, we got
still
this
a challenge.
Oh no, yeah, still a challenge, a fun challenge though, not an impossible challenge.
Yeah, they get really close to details, and you're like, I have never even seen that. I don't even know.
Where in the park have I seen that?
The great thing about these is that they're not in attractions and they're out in the open places. It's meant for families to play.
Besides people who've been there a lot, it's fun for people that are new to the parks as well, because you catch some of those details that you would probably miss when you're first going.
So there's images that you are finding on one side of the card, and then the other has the hint and the answer that you can reveal if you choose to.
Before it was just the hint and the answer, but now if you really want the land,
it'll tell you
they'll
where.
give you the land for an extra hint. You guys can take as long as you wish without the hint.
Yeah.
Without the hint, it's hard.
But that's what makes it fun.
But they do not just do Disney parks, obviously. What other parks do you guys actually cover?
Universal and all that good stuff.
East Coast, West Coast, and they're continuing to expand even more after that.
Check them out, whereinthepark.com, if you need to get some game packs. They are so much fun.
So we appreciate Where in the Park.
They're awesome.
We love
Kevin and
that.
Amanda.
Get you some Where in the Park today.
Hell yeah.
Use promo code WaltzAPT Podcast to save 10% at whereinthepark.com.
All right. Make sure you get you some. Where in the Park is an awesome sponsor of this amazing show and other shows that we have here on the Waltz Apartment Podcast. Did death have to guide each person who disappeared during the blip? Nope. No, it did not.
Death was busy during the blip, though, and I don't think a lot of people realize that.
The Soul Stone did not kill people. It actually it snapped them into basically a pocket emptiness of a universe is what the Soul Stone has done. The only thing that Death had to do related to the Soul Stone was Fairy on Wanda, because to actually get the Soul Stone, someone must actually die. You must trade a soul.
You mean Black Widow?
Black Widow. That's it, Wanda. Yes.
And
Natasha.
So I think there's more that Death actually had to deal with during the blip, and I think it's something that Marvel has not really addressed. Because we see helicopter and plane crashes and stuff, and only half the people on that plane got blipped and half of them being pilots. Like things like that, where people did crash and burn to their death. And those people did not come back to life. They died in those accidents.
I would like to think so. There's a theory to that, and people want to say it's continuity error or issues and stuff. But I like to think because the person, Mr. Professor Hulk, in his infinite wisdom that he has, literally, when you're wearing the gauntlet, you can bring people back however you choose to. We saw people being brought back at the point of where they got blipped. He could, in his righteous forethought, genius mind, make sure that all those people who were in danger were blipped back in a safe manner. I'm just putting that out there.
That is
otherwise
not very well in the MCU.
It's not. It's a theory. It really could happen. I mean, right now, for all we know, the only thing we know is that people got blipped back exactly where they were at the time of the blip.
Right.
And if that's the case, then there is massive bodies.
But years later.
Yeah, but years later. So if that's the case, then there's massive bodies for Death to collect. But I want to believe in this theory that Professor Hulk understood the game and brought them back.
Assignment.
Brought them back safely. So
okay, I could deal with that. Yeah,
I want to believe that.
I'll accept it either way, but I'm just saying there's like you said, there's a continuity error there for Marvel because it could go either way. They haven't told us.
Yeah, they didn't.
Also, because it's years later,
And like what we saw with Yelena coming back, like she came back into the same house, but different people were living there. If
Mhm.
that, that when that helicopter went down in that spot, like there could be no building, or there could have been a new building put up or something like that. And so I don't know. And they haven't really addressed that either.
Yeah.
Of like, where did that helicopter come back into if he did do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Kids
Yeah,
were
I
playing
think this
baseball
phase.
and they build a building on that baseball field and they blipped and then they come back. They're under concrete. I mean, I want to believe in the Professor Hulk theory. So
Okay. I do think this phase has not answered a lot of the questions that we've had from the very beginning about the blip,
Mhm.
and has not done a very good job of explaining anything that's been going on. So I don't know.
So let's get back into the when they end up meeting up, Jen and Teen, actually Rio and Agatha actually had a very interesting conversation, which actually revealed Rio really does care for her and asked her, like, why are you letting these people believe you traded your freaking son for the Darkhold? Like, we know she had the Darkhold. And so it made sense that had been like the ultimate sacrifice to get that and stuff. But obviously that wasn't the case and stuff. So
It was in the comics, though, right?
I don't know. I
think it was in the comics.
I'll be honest. I don't know. It
I
could
have
be.
no idea.
I have no idea. So I do have to follow up with that. But
This
I
one
do.
was actually my favorite quote. Is when she says, "You have had, out of all people in history, you've had the most special treatment." And she says, You call that special treatment?" And she says that you didn't give me anything. You
Just took. Yep.
But later, that quote is paid off by Rio actually taking her son.
Mhm.
She took him in a really special way that didn't hurt Agatha. Like, she didn't take him right in front of her. She was asleep.
Yep.
She made him go back and kiss
Give her a
his
kiss.
mom. Yeah, give
Yep.
her a kiss. Like, she really cared.
Also, Rio didn't
about
show him the face of death. Like, she wasn't
Yes,
the
she
grim leader.
was.
She
She was
came
not deaf.
kind. Yep.
Yeah, she came kind, and so that paid off the quote for me, which made it my favorite quote. That she did give Agatha special treatment because she wouldn't have done that for anyone else.
Mhm.
And it just made my heart so happy, and it made the episode so beautiful. And when Agatha asks for more time with the child when he's born, she asks for her not to take him. She says, "I can't not take him, but I can give you more time."
Yep.
Those
And then
two
she says, "How
are
much time?" And then she's gone before she can answer.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
favorite
exactly.
quote was immediately after that. And it
Okay.
was when Agatha says, "I cast no spell, I spoke no incantation. You I made from scratch."
Yeah.
Oh, my mama heartstrings were just like, and then my comic book girl hearts, everything just exploded all at once. And it was like, it's happening. And that's where his name came from. He's Nicholas Scratch. And then I went back to Senor Scratchy, and it all just came together in this big puzzle. And
There's a lot of full circle moments in
it
the last
was episode 9, so full circle. The fact that we get Nicholas writing the Witch's Road song with Agatha, and that's like their mother-son bonding, is writing the Witch's Road song.
Yeah.
And the fact that I very much so love that she compared Billy to Nicholas because they both have a moral compass.
Yes.
Nicholas is like, "Mommy, I don't want to do this. I don't want it. Why do we kill witches? Mommy, why do we kill witches? Like,
Yeah.
Mama, why do we kill witches?
Why don't we live with them and
can we
protect
kill
each
witches?
other?
We can kill more witches tomorrow."
For me, the Easter eggs in there, like when the first episode and you see Agatha is looking in the bedroom, kind of fawning over Nicholas, and there's the plaque of Nicholas Scratch winning an award for singing.
Yeah.
Right there at the end. That was the only thing I was thinking of when I'm watching this kid sing in that bar and stuff, and how proud Agatha was and stuff. Like, she literally conjured up an award for her son for best performance and singing and stuff. I was like, oh man,
That's cute.
Well,
this show.
and last episode, or I think I predicted that we were going to get another version of
Yep,
the Witch's Road
you did.
song. And I didn't anticipate that it was going to be the original version of her writing it with her son and it being
I don't
all
think
a ruse
anybody could have
and
predicted that.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I did say that we were going to get another version of the song, which we
Yep.
did.
Yep.
It's the original version that that does not have the Witch's Road in it. It's just like the winding road. They're
Winding
walking
road.
down the winding road, which goes back to the first episode when we have the theme song about the down the winding road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is also full circle.
I don't know. This whole last episode just made me so heartsick.
I know, it was very, very emotional.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
so heartsick.
So we all love the writers took very good care of actually, and the set, everybody involved, the directors, the writers, the set
Incredible.
with the Easter eggs and just how the traction of the show and the exposition and everything else. The title, the maiden mother crone, literally was about the transition of Agatha, the maiden who was pregnant, alone, kind of, in the woods, giving birth to her son.
I have a question about that.
Becoming the mother. Go ahead. What's up?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Main good mother, and then we'll move on.
Becoming the mother, and then the final transition is when she died, and the old gray hair became the ghost, the crone and stuff. I was like, oh, this is the most befitting because it's her brooch. It literally is the tracks of her life and stuff. So
literally the story writing for WandaVision and Agatha all along haven't been topped by anything else ever for me.
No,
Like
Jack Schaefer, shout out.
Jack Schaefer.
Oh my gosh, it is.
She's amazing. Yep.
Oh, talk about continuity. And talk about giving you things that tease you throughout the season and putting the Easter eggs in the right places.
Everything's connected.
Wrapping everything in a beautiful freaking bow with like an emotional component and like something to look forward to at the end that doesn't make you anxious waiting to see what's going to happen. It's just, it's perfect. It's like the best storytelling that could possibly exist. Do you think that we figure out, because Agatha said you I made from scratch, but I don't think she's talking about immaculate conception here.
I do.
No,
I don't think she is. I don't think she is.
I don't think she is because I said no incantation. Yeah, exactly what you said.
I cast no spell. I spoke no incantation. You I made from scratch.
Yeah.
I think that he was made the way babies are made. And or I'm wondering, don't
Rio.
Don't shoot the messenger. Nope. I'm going to say we didn't get Mephisto making Wanda's children. Maybe we get Mephisto making Agatha's child. Because they know damn well that we want Mephisto to create a damn illegitimate child. They know that we want it. So I think at some point down the road in MCU history, we figure out who Nicholas Scratch's father is.
Oh, I'm sure that mystery is going to come forth. We're gonna get,
especially if Rio comes back. I'm sure Rio knows.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
There are some theories that Nicholas Scratch is half Rio.
Yeah, there's that theory too.
The thing is
I mean, that would go along with the Mephisto theory, though.
But you guys even said that death can take on any form. So maybe death took on a form of a man, and they were, Nicholas was made the natural way, but then turned into Rio and is now,
True. Could be.
Yeah.
But since it is confirmed we are getting Mephisto in Ironheart.
Yep.
Maybe we'll find out then.
Play Sacha Baron Cohen. You better play that role.
Maybe at this point we know that he cannot be the father of the Scarlet Witch's children.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's already
Because
that's
she
not
made it
gonna happen.
herself. Yeah.
So
They came from her. So.
he's
From
gotta
her and
avenge a
her
child
magic
some way.
and stuff. So look, but she doesn't know. I mean, she is. I mean, she again, she was in the middle of that. So here's the thing: Agatha is a anomaly. She's not an abomination. She's an anomaly, and that's what fascinated Death about her. That's what made Death fall in love with her, because her special power is to take from others until they die, and there's no better suitor to Death than that, because it's the natural order of who Agatha is. She's not like the TVA, like, oh, you're not killing people in the right way. She is naturally doing her villainous thing, which is taking, and she didn't want that. She literally, when she started
It was
playing,
her given right.
yeah. And her mom kind of set this off, because her mom is the actual villain. Miss, I should have ended you when you were first born. Wow, man. That for me, that line, I'm not saying it's the favorite, but it's the most memorable, coldest line
It is a cold line, yeah, for sure.
And that was the quote, the line that I actually picked as because of how impactful that line was to everything, to the storyline. So that was my line. It wasn't my favorite. It was just the most impactful. Was I should have ended you from birth and stuff. I was like, geez. Talk about, I mean, right there, that one sentence summed up everything I need to know about Agatha and why she does what she does. Because you have a mom like that. No wonder
with the powers that you have naturally on top of it.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
You had no chance.
Yeah.
And there was moments, like, here's the thing, like, we know Agatha wears masks, like that's her thing, but part of her not humanity, her realness, like, comes out, but her cosplaying is a protective measure. It is a protective measure for her.
She doesn't have to do that anymore, though.
No,
she's playing the fairy
She's a
godmother
ghost.
now.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to be PC. She can just say whatever she wants.
She is being the fairy godmother.
Yeah.
And to the right person. I mean, literally, Agatha in the comic books was Wanda's mentor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wanda came to her to, like, help me understand my powers and everything. She's about to be Wiccan's mentor, and I really see we're going to see a different, because Billy, he really knows how to deal with her crazy and deal with her, like, it's I actually love seeing the interactions, like the anger, the acceptance, the feelings, like, he deals with her, like, he
knows he can cast her ass out when she's not being real.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
he's not afraid to challenge her. He was never afraid of her. He was mad at her. He loved her. He was pissed at her. Like, it was like they were meant to be. So I was really glad that union is happening, and she's going to take on the role of.
Well, he comes back to save her.
Yeah, absolutely.
When she is battling Rio, and he comes back and he tells her to take his power, but he also says, "Do not take it all," And
she didn't.
Her... No, she didn't. She didn't.
She could have. I like what Kevin just said. He said, Agatha and Billy are going to burn and brew with Coven 2. TWO.
Yes.
This pays off. This paid off so much on the Witch's Room when they were talking about, is it Coven True or Coven 2? And Agatha she was super close to saying, I made up the freaking song. I know what it is.
I know. She was so mad too. She's like, no, it's Coven 2. And she's like, because I made it up.
Then they turned to Alice like, hey, your mom, wrote her version of it. Which is it? Is it Coven True or Coven 2? It's like, I can see Agatha seething, and it paid off so good. I was like, why is she so hung up on the lyrics of the Witch's Road? And then that pays off because it's her and Nicholas's Coven 2 was the original song and stuff. And
because it was just the two of them.
Yeah. She wasn't going to reveal the scams. Like, there is no freaking Witch's Road. I made up this song with my son hundreds of years ago.
Agatha and Rio both knew that the Witch's Road didn't exist.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, it's also why Rio has no problem, just like Agatha, playing into these delusions and everything else. I mean, because she was doing that with Agnes in the beginning, trying to figure what's going on there, and Agatha did it with Wanda. I mean, they really just they're here for the show. They're like, hey.
I think when Rio gets conjured and she takes a look around and she figures out where she's at, she's like, okay, here we go. We're just going for it.
Right. She's
I will
along for the
say
ride.
we have almost 200 people watching right now. So if you have comments or questions that you want us to address here in the tribe tonight about Agatha all along or anything else in the MCU or Marvel Comics, whatever, drop it in whatever chat you're watching in. It should pop up here in our studio, and we would be happy to address that. If there's a theory that you have, if there are questions you're like, hey, this wasn't answered for me, let us know. We're here for it. That's why we went live tonight. We wanted to share with everyone.
Absolutely.
Because usually we keep these conversations between us and we share them. These conversations are the conversations we have. We have these conversations, and they're usually only available to you wherever you listen to podcasts. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening. Which if you're listening there on any of those sites, please leave us a rating on every episode that you can. We would so greatly appreciate that. But if you're here live tonight, drop in the chat, say hi, tell us what you're thinking.
That's very true, Kevin. She did cut through the background.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
like, I'm done with
that
this
was hilarious to me.
It was.
That like she
Everybody
just was
was like,
like, "This isn't real," like here's cut through the background. Yeah, that was hilarious.
I freaking love it. Yeah, that was the reveal when Billy goes into his bedroom. He goes home. First of all, this is the only issue I take. This is it. The only little. If I had to be nitpicky and I had to take off the I'm enamored with the show. So Billy shows up to help Agatha with Rio fighting off death and everything else, and we can talk about that scene. But after everything was said and done, and Agatha ended up sacrificing herself for Billy, he walks out, and you see the residents of Westview kind of walking towards the house. He walks past them. Why did that boy who just flew in just get into this car and just drive off? It was like, you're Superman, fly home. Why are you going to get into your car and just drive?
Here's my question.
He left the car there. He needed to take it home. He needed to take the car home.
No. Here's my question. I have a bigger question.
Okay.
Why in the flying F does anybody still live in Westview?
I would have moved.
Why didn't they move?
I think it's actually a really good question, Sam.
I would have moved by now.
You know what? Marvel needs to do those one. They used to do these one shots.
Bring back the one shot.
They need to do a one shot of a resident in Westview trying to sell their house. Yeah.
They use pentacles.
Okay. Yes, cars cost money, but I do want to see a Westview resident trying to sell their house, put it on the market, lying their asses off as they're showing their house. This is a great neighborhood and stuff.
That neighbor that played along with Agatha for the detective, why did he move?
Listen, at this point, I'm finding relatives that live in Kansas to move in with because I'm out of there.
I would have been gone.
Who cares about selling the house? Let's just get out.
Yeah, don't sell the house. Just move.
Listen.
Again, this is why I clapped with Jen when she got the hell out. She was like, I dug my way out of this dirt. I'm flying off. I'm out.
I almost in my brain can hear She-Hulk having a conversation with the U.S. government about how they are legally obligated to purchase these homes from Westview at this point.
That's the only thing She-Hulk is good for.
That would be hilarious. I would support that 100%.
I mean, she can break down that fourth wall and look at us and be like, y'all wouldn't live here, right? Hell no, we wouldn't.
No.
Do something with that. Marvel do something with that. Do a one shot. You can even bring She-Hulk back and have her help facilitate that. But
I don't think Eastview is any better.
No.
Don't think he
Or
gets any better.
call Matt Murdock, and She-Hulk together figuring this shit out.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
go.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Figure it
Yeah.
out. Figure that.
So-
Season 2 of She-Hulk. Selling Westview.
So watching Billy go into his room and discover that, looking at all of his product, his stuff on the wall and everything
His
else.
memorabilia.
We got. I don't know if you guys seen the movie Usual Suspects with Kevin Spacey and all those. Like, there's that verbal Kent moment where the detective, after they just released Kevin Spacey because he couldn't be the killer. He was this person with mental health issues, and he had a handicap, and then he's watching around the room and all of these. It was that montage. It's a very famous montage for Usual Suspects that gets repeated, and it's what we saw when we saw the statues, the figurines, the bronze shoes, the
Ouija board.
and one thing I missed that I didn't see until we got that montage. I kind of saw it coming when I saw the lights, the triangle lights, because I called it when we got Billy's backstory, but I didn't see until this montage the Saw poster. Which I was like, there's a Saw poster in his room, and I'm like, the countdown. That is literally the epitome of the premise of Saw. Every scenario they have, which is life or death, comes with a countdown. I was like, oh, yeah, I completely missed that. I was like, oh, that was great because everything else had tracked. Everything meshed with everything that was in that room. And then I saw the Saw poster, and then it just hit me like, yep, there's your countdown. That's why that exists.
That's why there's countdowns in every trial.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
good catch, Blurred Hulk.
Yeah. So I know we've been bouncing back and forth, which is fine. We're good just keeping up with that. But I do want to get more into the final episode when she is, we got the young Agatha who's a newly mothered. We talked about that a little bit and stuff. And she is literally taking her son to help trap witches and kill them. Now, I have a question that I don't think the show fully answered. Now, we heard, and I think this is a misdirect, which we'll find out later, because we pull from the comics, but there are always new characters and new things about them. I think she lied to Lily about how her powers work, because when Nicholas and her, when she had the baby and she walked in and she came across that coven of witches that was surrounded by those protection stones, and as soon as she walked in there, she started blasting. There was no song, there was no nothing. She was draining witches' powers right then and there. These witches were there to help her. They were going to feed her and the baby and everything else. She's took their power. So for her, I think she lied when she says, "Yeah, the only way I can take your powers is if you blast me. So restrain yourself." Is a lie. I think it's a lie.
Well, we didn't really see what she did to take their powers.
Correct.
It panned up, so she might have goaded them into it, and they
in 2 seconds.
Her. I don't know.
We didn't get to see that, but what we did get to see is she knew she could not enter because there was a protection spell.
She had to be invited. Yeah,
warded off against her. So yeah, that's the typical thing in like witchcraft folklore is you have to invite a witch in, or a vampire. They have to be invited in if there is a protection spell.
Yeah, and I get, okay, so Kevin said, yeah, and both Courtney and Kevin said they cut away, but the cutaway was quick. It wasn't they cut away and it was like they're slowly tracking the tree line and up to the sky. As soon as they cut away, boom, she was taking powers and everything else and stuff. So that's what led me to
And they're like, who let her in?
Yeah.
But every other time that we do see her siphoning power from witches,
They blasted her.
has to be blasted. She can't just be like, oh, we're singing the song and I have you in a circle and it's so happy, kumbaya. Oh, great, now I have your powers. She would always give them that same speech. You guys are despicable. What kind of witch coven do you think you could be? Blast me, you bitches. And then they would hit her and then she could drain it. So I don't know if we can assume that that's not how her power worked, because
I mean, she could be telling the truth. It could be true. And I'm just reading into the quick transition because it happened super fast.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of read it as she was there for a little bit.
I
and
think
then
what
she did
Kevin, I think
something.
Kevin is valid, is she blasted them with her power, or she did something to them, and then they attacked back. Or she
Okay.
started to mind control them, because she can manipulate things. She can manipulate people's minds and make them do things. She said
About
that. She
boner.
told her, she told her son that.
Yeah.
She told her son, and then maybe she silently got them to blast her. And then she started draining one person's power, and everyone else was like, what the hell is she?
She
Who
did
let her
drain
in?
them one at a time because you could see the different colors.
It's like, who yeah.
Okay, you could be right. I could be. I'm probably just reading into it because she could go to them. She has power. She literally could just start blasting people left and right, which is going to trigger obviously a response. So
she couldn't feed her son with her
It's
power.
they have to blast her to take the power, but she can still blast them to hurt them, to attack
Correct.
them.
Yeah, true. Yeah, she probably did attack them in the way, and then as soon
But
as
then
they
she got
attacked
smarter and used the song and
Yeah.
got them to attack her. You know?
And then it was the master plan at that point.
And then if we honestly, we saw what she did to the mothers of the Salem 7. We can't forget what she did in, she plays so sweet and so innocent, and Agatha.
Oh yeah, she's the Jessica
vile.
the Jessica Rabbit, that line. I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way. She's like, I'm not bad. I'm just made that way. You know, this is my nature. It's who I am. So, but my thing is, we never got to see Nicholas have really any power and stuff. Whether he was going to be a young teen witch or anything and stuff. But the boy can sing. He was a little Justin Bieber, helping mom, take those witches, killing them on their adventures. What?
I think Kevin, I think we saw her taking power before. Well, we didn't actually
she was taking power before Nick died.
We heard her draining power.
Correct. We didn't see it until after.
We didn't see it until after.
There was the one where he was a baby, and then there was one where he started singing the Witch's Road to other witches, and then.
Well, no, there was the one when he stole the thing.
They stole the thing.
They chased her into the house, and then boom.
And then we hear.
And then he sang.
But we don't get to see that actually. We see him petting the goat as a distraction.
Not until after his death. Then we see her taking people or being blasted and being and sucking in their powers and stuff. So she could very well her
by
emotions.
Trying to take people to the witch's road.
Right. Yeah.
Which so part of me thought that the young girl who came up after oh my god, it was kind of heartbreaking after the death scene when she was singing the song, about burying her heart and stuff, and then the young witch who came up. I don't know why I got Mrs. Hart vibes from that young witch. It didn't lead to anywhere. I just thought
it's because she was so innocent. It was her innocence, I think.
It was. It was kind of. I was like, wait, is it Mrs.
She looked a little bit like her too.
She was naive, and
then she died. So I was like, if she would have let that witch live, for some reason, I was like, okay, that's Sharon. Sharon is a witch. She's been around witch forever, but that wasn't the case. It was one of those. My conspiracy mind was just going off.
No, he even says Sharon was never supposed to be there.
No.
Well, true. She says Sharon was never supposed to be there. I think.
Right.
He says Sharon was, and she's like, who's that?
Yeah. Sharon. Hey, Sharon.
He goes, the gardener. She said the gardener was never supposed to be there.
Yeah.
The disrespect she has for Sharon was just.
Well, she's from Westview. Agatha doesn't like Westview.
She should have moved out of Westview. She would have never been there in the first place. She should have moved out.
She couldn't.
She has free house. Oh, Sharon. Yeah, Sharon. Sharon should have moved. Well, took the money from her husband's death and bounced.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Get out. Just gone.
Get out of Westview.
Yep. So
don't live in your trauma. Get out of it.
No.
Don't live in the trauma.
I do like the transitions through times. You know, they went through the 30s and all we got a little 90s.
Yeah.
We got the 90s emo
with the black jacket.
The Craft. That literally
was
the
Craft.
From the
That's
Craft.
where it was.
With her circle glasses and everything else and doing her thing, like that was absolutely what that was from.
So we got to see Agatha stealing power from witches over the ages, essentially.
I wanted to see her be Jolene and get smacked, and I wanted to see a little bit more comic when we're going through the montage of through the ages of Agatha doing devious.
Well, like I said, I wanted to see her on the Titanic. Like I literally wanted the ship to go down with her on it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Like we can't charge her with these things over in history unless we see her do it. So come on, Marvel.
Maybe you see her like whisper into. Wait, what's the girl from Titanic? The Jack
Rose.
And
Rose.
She whispers in the Rose ears like, there's no room on the board. Let Jack just drown. Like I would love to see some kind of joke. Don't let him up.
And then Rio shows up and like takes him.
Yeah.
Hey, Marvel spin-off show. Adventures of Agatha.
What if Agatha was
Agatha and Rio?
Right.
Oh, I definitely think we're going to see some what ifs with this. There's so much stuff you can do with it.
What if it was Agatha and
Third
Rio?
season's coming in December, so you know.
Oh yeah, we got more.
I
We
mean,
got
they could
more
literally make-
Marvel content this year. So
Yeah, I think they could really make a spin-off of Agatha and Rio just going along and collecting, like killing everybody and collecting the bodies.
Yeah,
That would be hilarious.
like a
Like
buddy
the
cop,
Titanic.
cop type of situation.
Like
for
a
those
buddy
two.
cop, yes, like a buddy cop.
I would be there for that. Absolutely.
I would be there for that too.
Somehow you got okay. So here's my guest appearances. You gotta get Patty in there somehow, just even in passing. I love Patty, but I would like to see Frigga, for Thor's mom, who is a witch.
Yeah, that would
She's
be
literally-
good.
In fact, I
She's a witch.
was hoping to see her in this, like as a good surprise, and I didn't even post it. I should have posted. I'm glad I didn't because it didn't happen and stuff. But I was like, oh, it'd be so sweet of a payoff to have Frigga just palling around with some of the witches on Earth and stuff.
You know what
Just be the
I'm
witch
okay
herself.
with not seeing in What If? The Scarlet Witch again. Give me a break. We're good.
You're gonna hurt. You're gonna hurt.
You're gonna cause some trouble,
hear-
little miss.
Have I ever cared about hurting Sean's feelings? Sorry, Sean.
Sean is going to be hurt.
He'll be all right. He's a big
Well,
boy.
the
He'll
thing
be all right.
is they could bring back. Well, okay, look, they could bring back the Scarlet Witch. Just let her have more than one word,
Agreed.
and
Agreed.
don't
And
turn
make
her into
it
a
make
zombie again.
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did
And-
hear
and-
that Jack Schaefer had written some post-credit scenes, but none of them got approved by Marvel.
Because they don't have a
Boo.
plan for her yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably not. Yeah, they're still fleshing out. I mean, I'm gonna tell you now. I think Marvel's still cleaning up the pieces from King the Conqueror.
Yeah.
The
I
debacle.
do
They're trying to
too.
fix this
But
and
I-
patch it back
But
together.
I feel like if anybody's gonna protect the Scarlet Witch, it would be Jack Schaefer. So I'm
Yeah.
surprised that they didn't approve anything that she would have written.
Absolutely.
right.
But here's
Because I
the
feel like
thing.
I would trust anything in her hands,
Mhm.
especially the Scarlet Witch.
I don't.
Mhm.
This is just my opinion. I don't feel like Doctor Doom is the equivalent of King the Conqueror at all.
He's not, but
He's not.
it's. I
don't
mean,
think.
He's
you know,
made
he's
to
not.
look like it because he's the big bad of Fantastic Four.
But that's my thing is like, it's still, they still need to sell me on some more.
He has some big bad storylines and stuff. He is a
I know, but-
universal threat, but he wasn't at the tune of.
Kevin says he is when played by RDJ.
I mean, you don't
Absolutely.
you
does
don't
not
get him to
fail
sign
us,
back
so.
on for nothing, right? You don't get him to
Right.
sign back on for nothing.
I mean, he was pretty much done with Iron
Yeah.
Man, so for him
Yeah.
to sign back on as Doctor Doom, there's got to be a pretty big storyline. there.
Interesting
Well-
story that he got pitched. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But it just for me as a comic book fan, there's no painting them in the same light.
Right.
Like
Okay.
Got it.
I can't like Kang the Conqueror is far more sinister than Doctor Doom ever could be. And Kang the Conqueror is far more reaching than Doctor Doom.
Oh, he's smarter.
Well, Marvel had to pivot so hard.
I
so
know. That's why I'm
we
saying
know
I'm
that.
kind of like hoping like, hey, give us some more side stories that are dark and ugly too, because right now Doctor Doom's not going to be enough for me.
Well, here's the other thing too. I mean, we do.
I'm a brat. I'm a Marvel brat. Leave me alone.
We're also we're getting these celestial entities, these cosmic entities and stuff. I mean, we got Ego, which was Kurt Russell's character. I mean, we're going to get Galactus. We got Death. I mean, we got Eternity, even for like half a thing. And there's a mystery. No one really know. I mean, no one who didn't read comic books know what the heck Eternity is.
Right.
We got mentions of the Beyonder with statues and stuff. Beyonder, again, the only one who can actually kill Death. So put that out there for you guys and stuff. Death can't be killed by anything but something that is grander and more godlike than Death, but Beyonder. So I like that we're introducing these storylines and these cosmic. So we may not need to have a all-encompassing Thanos or King the Conqueror big baddie and stuff. We just need to have some chaos happen in this universe with these people. So
I think we need multiple villains happening at the same time.
Yeah, agree.
Be it in film or on Disney Plus.
Well, the
just
Secret
give us
Wars
a few
are
storylines.
happening, so
Oh yeah, Battle World. I mean, Battle World is going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah,
it better be. So with that said,
that's going to be the hit or miss for Marvel right there is Battle World.
So with that said, let's wrap this up this way and stuff. Let's just give me your guys' final take on the show. Just give me your overarching, like just your at the movies, like this was absolutely worth the ride. It was okay. It replaced a show that I liked. It's my new favorite. Like anything, the floor is open to say what you want in closing about Agatha all along and this series that Jack Schaefer she delivered for us. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I'm going to give this series a 9.5 out of 10. It left very little for me to want. I think it was some of the very best storytelling that has ever been given to us in the MCU. I did not think that the storytelling and the twists and the turns could get much better than WandaVision. That WandaVision was epic storytelling, and this took it up another 5 levels. And I don't know how they can get much better, but I damn sure hope they do, because my little brain and my little heart just can't stand it. I just want more. Give me more. I will wait another 3 years for it. So give me more of this. Just take the time, tell the story, and do it right. Yeah.
Don't rush it. Don't rush it. All right, Courtney, Kelly.
I'm gonna give this series overall a 9.9 out of 10 because of the way that they left it, going to find Tommy. I want to see Tommy. I wanted to see a little bit more of the backstory, like I said, with Agatha and Rio and their interactions. And they left us hanging with Jennifer. But overall, like this, I mean, nobody knew what to expect from Agatha all along. And from the minute they stepped out on stage at D23 and sang the Ballad of the Witch's Road, I was hooked. And it has done nothing but made us so obsessed. We've made a couple of covens. Like, I need my coven, as Lila says. Like, it's just awesome. And I just love that the way that they are portraying witchcraft in the Marvel universe. And it was something that we didn't know we needed, but I'm very happy that we have it. And yes, it is a beautiful companion piece to WandaVision, and I hope it goes into a Vision Quest if we get that. But I don't know if Vision Quest is going to be compared to the other two, since Jack Schaefer is probably not going to be able to write it. So we'll see how that goes. But
it was a fantastic ride, and I'm sad that it's ended.
Okay.
Yeah, this was the most anticipated show that I had of Marvel, at least for this year. And again, like because we were at D23 and we got the sneak peek of the Ballad of the Witch's Road and all of that going on at D23 with Robert and Kristen Lopez talking about creating the Ballad of the Witch's Road also at D23. We were obsessed. Like it was just like we cannot wait until Agatha. I think they debuted it at the right time around Halloween. It was such a good spooky show to watch in this Halloween fall season. It was a must-watch sit-down television. Like if you didn't watch it at 6 o'clock, everybody was like, "No spoilers, no spoilers! Don't tell me what happens," because it was a revisit back to must-see TV and like the water cooler talk, and I think that's amazing because the way that we sat down and theorized about this show and guessed what was coming and what we thought was happening, that doesn't happen too much anymore with the binge watching. I know that we've done it with WandaVision and we try to do it with the other Marvel shows like Loki and stuff like that. But it is so hard with the binge watching and the releasing of all the episodes to get that kind of going. And I think the buzz for the show was so good. And I only saw a few things that people didn't like about it. So I didn't feel as much hate on this show. It was very much love for this show because it was such good storytelling, such good writing. The acting was amazing. And the chemistry between the cast was magic. So, I think this was a 10 for me. And it puts it on the same level as WandaVision. I think they go hand in hand together. Um, and I have less questions that I did about Agatha all along than I do with WandaVision. And I wish that they would just scrap the Doctor Strange Scarlet Witch and bring her back. Just like say that
No
never
Doctor
happened.
Strange 3.
No, yeah, don't even. I mean, like you can do Doctor Strange 3, just don't erase Doctor Strange 2. I don't want it. I don't want
Just
it.
bring Deadpool into Doctor Strange 2 or Doctor Strange 3 to fix what happened in Doctor Strange 2 and it'll be fine.
Can we just get the Scarlet Witch back? Can we just get her back? I mean, that
Well, that's
would've
the
been
thing is,
cherry
like,
on-
we don't really want the Scarlet Witch back. We want Wanda back before she was the Scarlet Witch because
Yeah,
the Scarlet Witch
exactly.
is the
We
one
want
who's a
Wanda
bitch.
Yeah, that's true. So, like, I think that, you know, I just want the cherry on top would have been to have Elizabeth Olsen back, but we may get it in the future, and I'm hoping so.
Okay.
And yeah, the only thing that I wanted more of was more of the Rio Agatha story before Nicholas Scratch came along and how they know each other and how they met and what their storyline was like. But I think we can infer what was happening, but we didn't get it. But maybe we will. Maybe next year at Halloween we'll get a little extra episode or something.
The power of yet. We didn't get it yet.
Exactly. Yes.
So
Exactly.
I'm gonna close out and say I'm gonna rate this show. She's not a bitch. She's misunderstood. She's a bitch. I'm gonna close out with this. The show was a 10, and for a variety of different reasons. So I'm gonna say, as a Marvel fan, this is a franchise I love. I get to kind of nerd out about. I mean, you have your Star Wars, you have Disney, you have very specific genres that exist out there, and each one of those genres do have their toxic side of things. For the first time, I literally got to see a show clap back on its own, and the fans push back on the talk. I mean, the same level of toxicity exists no matter what. There's people saying, "Oh, we got woke stuff. Jennifer is not the the white version of the comic books, or they're talking about gay," and it's like, well, like that's Marvel again. Marvel never had to be woke because they always been awoken. They always been. I'm butchering it. They always been woke, but the fans who were pushing back on these toxic, it just they got drowned out. They were a non-factor, and I loved that. For me, top 5 Marvel properties, period. And I'm talking movies and TV. So, I'm a, Civil War. We got introduction to Black Panther and Spider-Man in there. That's where that. So always have a special place in my heart. Black Panther, Thor Ragnarok, The Winter Soldier, because of the stylistic and the way they did. It's kind of like a Jason Bourne kind of crime novel kind of. I love that, the way they shot that and everything else. And then Agatha All Along. Jack Schaefer, Agatha All Along will always be in my top 5. And so it's a 10, period. It earned that spot. It was brilliantly put together. The writing, the choice of act, I wouldn't recast anybody. I wouldn't, there's nothing that this for me, this was really a fanboy a kind of show. I loved it. It brought new audience. There's people who I know don't watch Marvel who is obsessed with this show. It was like watch
It's the
people
witchcraft.
like
It's the witchcraft.
Yeah.
It's the witchcraft. And
Yes.
the portrayal of the witchcraft is so impeccable. Like the research they had to do to go into witches lore and witches stereotypes and bring all of that to
But not even just stereotypes, modern day witchcraft in its essence.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
They paid respect. They paid some really
And there
good
hasn't
respect.
been a show that has cultivated around witchcraft this well, I think, since Charmed. Like
including all of the facets of all of the different types of witchcraft, like a divination witch. Like, it was so encompassing of all of the
I
different
learned a lot.
versatilities.
I didn't know anything about that. I didn't know tarot and witchcraft was closely
Yeah, me
tied.
neither.
I didn't know what a divination witch was. I didn't know what a protection.
Witch, a protection witch, a green witch.
Yeah.
The green witch.
Listen,
I don't know shit about shit. I don't know
The green witch.
Yeah,
I don't know shit about witch. So the next time you guys come at me saying I'm a witch, you better chill it.
You're a witch. You know you're a witch. But so I loved it. At the end of the day, it really was a great movie. We got new fans of Marvel stuff that people are checking stuff out, asking questions that, like, I don't know anything about Marvel, but I sure do love Agatha. Like, what should I be watching before, So it was, it was great. And I loved it. And so, it was a 10. It was a perfectly wrapped up season. And as me, I told you guys, I admitted this before, I'm addicted to the binge watching. But for this show, I think they broke me of that habit. I like the slow burn. It was nice and steady.
I love the slow burn. I say it every time we're covering a Disney Plus show. I'm like, I like the slow burn. I like picking at each other's brains between episodes and waiting to see if our theories or predictions come true. I love that.
Someone's got to go back and count how many times we were right.
It was damn near every week. Listen, this
we were on it. We
did solid.
We were pretty good.
We had comments from Tyler. We had comments from Tyler in our Discord. Again, if you're not in our Discord, it's absolutely free. Join us, Walt's Apartment Podcast on Discord.
Yep.
And Tyler was like, how do you guys do this every week? You guys must get the scripts beforehand. We're like, no, we're just invested, bro. Like,
but to Kevin's comment, yeah. I don't know if that headline is actually true or not, because now Disney has a thing where, like Netflix does, where it has the top 10 of the week, and Agatha was always in the first or the top 3 spots.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure if that
headline
is exactly right. But,
I don't know. I mean, it could have had lower viewership, but that's not what we're seeing.
I
on
don't.
Disney
Yeah, I don't
Plus.
think that's right either. Yeah, that's not what we're hearing about. That's not what.
I mean,
we're
it could have been a
seeing.
troll writing an article because he didn't like it, so he's like, it has lower viewership than the Acolyte. But I mean, or it could be right, but Disney doesn't really. I mean, they never
I
really
also
have
think
put those numbers out, so I don't know.
So
I
I
also
think
think
that
that
it
Agatha.
started with really low numbers.
Yeah.
Probably.
Episode 8 had 4.6 million views, which was 48% higher than the season premiere's initial views. And then episode 9 saw a 26% increase from the premiere with 3.9 million views.
We know you wrote
No,
the
I know
article,
you didn't
Kevin.
write it. I'm just saying that Disney now has the like top 10, and it's always been in the top 3. So I don't.
I also think that the Acolyte and Agatha are two different.
So I'm going to say this. To date, because there are a lot of people who wait until the shows are all out so they can binge watch them.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, there's that.
Okay, so to date, Acolyte has 4.8 million viewers. Agatha All Along already has 4.6 million.
Okay. Yeah, so Acolyte's been out longer, and
A lot longer.
Yeah, a lot longer. And again, and what I was gonna say is, I think the Acolyte and Agatha have two different audiences. While there is some crossover with Star Wars and Marvel, I did not like the Acolyte. I couldn't get through it. And Agatha, I was tuned in every Wednesday.
I did find the article I think Kevin was talking about, but it says Disney reported the Acolyte had 11.1 million views in its first 5 days. More than Agatha, and the Acolyte has been canceled. So I don't think that's true because that is not the numbers that I'm seeing.
Either way, this was a limited run anyway. They left it.
We knew we were not getting another season of Agatha.
Yeah,
no, right.
But they also closed this out in a very well fashion that they could explore and break off new characters. I mean, honestly, Agatha wasn't supposed to exist. WandaVision was supposed to be the mainstay, but the popularity of Agatha blew the audience away. That they're like, hey, we have to do something with her, and we got Agatha all along.
Yeah, Jen says today number 1 for Disney Plus is Agatha, 2 is Wizards of Waverly Place, 3 is Hocus Pocus.
All witches, all witchcraft.
I mean, it's all Halloween stuff because that's all I've been watching. Yeah,
and Witches of Waverly Place, I bet that is Witches Beyond Waverly Place because that just debuted as the continuation to Wizards of Waverly Place. But you know, like that is a tribute to releasing it at the right time.
Which I think is released at the right time too, because it was the day before Halloween when it dropped. So
So I think those numbers I read were not accurate. So don't quote me on any numbers that I said in this episode because I am now finding different things. I was not prepared for this conversation, Kevin. Thanks a lot. You tend to do that to me. But we can talk about that. We could talk about that, David, the next time that we record the tribe. We can talk about the numbers for Disney Plus shows.
Sure.
And we've got lots more coming to the tribe. We've got new shows that are going to be released. We've got new movies being released, and we have some topics that we just want to talk about. So
absolutely.
And let's all not forget that Deadpool and Wolverine is starting to stream on November 12th. So.
Yes,
it is.
Don't watch it, guys.
Do not watch it with your little ones.
And Sam for having us on.
Kelly
the
and
Agatha
Courtney.
recaps.
No, we
This was so much
appreciate you
fun.
guys so much.
Absolutely. Special shout out to Courtney and Kelly for being our VIP guests for this Agatha All Along series trip. It was amazing. This was
You guys
great.
are welcome to join us in the tribe anytime you
Absolutely.
want.
Open invitation.
Courtney, where can we find you and Kelly outside of the tribe?
Well, you can find me at it's not it's just Neverland Clubhouse Pod on Instagram. And then also
I'm just Kelly Turkel on Instagram.
Yeah, and I also have Elements of Fun as well with me and Joey.
That's
We'll
right.
talk
Subscribe
Agatha.
On YouTube.
We
Or
just
you
did
can
an
find us
episode
on
Extra Magic Hour all the
That
time.
too.
Every
Yeah,
week.
we just put out an episode of all the D23 member gifts that throughout the year. So that's
great
our newest
episode.
Elements of Fun little
So,
video.
all over
What
the
about you,
place.
Sam? Where do you find you?
The
Your
Tribe.
home. Your home is here. Yes.
Let's see. Tribe,
Walt's
Extra
Apartment.
Magic Hour. Imagine that. Walt's Apartment Live Show.
Gagaloosh.
Gagaloosh Club. Fishing and
Yeah.
hunting channels near you. Just kidding.
TikTok.
Everywhere. I'm everywhere. Sammy_Mlo. Just
Right on.
don't worry about it though.
See, and me, I'm not as cool and as busy as these amazing ladies here. You can find me here in the Tribe, and maybe occasionally on Walt's Apartment Live and stuff. And that's pretty much. I go there because I get to fan out because these are the experts, in my opinion. I've learned so much to listen to them talk about Disney and the parks and all that stuff. I get to get challenged by Kevin all the time. I see you, man. But I love it, and I'm here for it.
You can find Sam
Rivers and Covens.
Rivers and Covens.
For Sam. So
Love it, Kevin.
We love you, Kevin.
So yeah, come watch Watts Live every Wednesday on Facebook and YouTube and a variety of different streaming places. I get to be a fan, but I get to be a fan with the seat in the house. So, but yeah, other than that, we'll have more future Tribes coming out. We still got some more Disney Marvel shows coming out this year. The year's not over yet, so we will be coming back for some more exciting stuff. Join the Discord, as Sam always says. It's free. In fact, I'll give you 100% Black Friday discount if you join tonight and say, "Show me a fish to Sam." You'll get 100% discount on joining the Discord tonight. Exclusive.
Oh my gosh. Definitely check out our sponsors, Getaway Today, We're in the Park, and Sunken City Designs. And we're about to hit this closing piece. So feel the pulse in your chest so you know you're alive. One team, one love. It's
The Tribe.
The Tribe.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here age relives fond memories of the past, and here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America, with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.